All right, hey, this is Act 2 of the podcast. We're getting right back into it. If you missed Act 1, go back and listen to that thing. Otherwise, this isn't going to make any sense. Okay, see ya. All right. Sorry, I just got distracted. Thank you, as always, to the Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage. You can reach out to them, 231-332-6505. If you are in the market for a mortgage from no matter where you are in the listening audience, you can reach out to them. The Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage, 231-332-6505. Buy now and refinance later. Kuiper Tree Care in West Michigan. Reach out to them at 616-828-8225. That's 616-828-8225 for Kuiper Tree Care, Kuiper, treecare.com. If you have storm damage, perhaps you need tree removal, stump grinding, tree risk assessment, or tree pruning, they do it all at Kuiper Tree Care, Kuiper, treecare.com. Thank you so much. Okay, I need to go to the restroom. Stand by. I'll be back in just a few short minutes. Thank you for being here. New audience introduction. New guy here. This goes by slower, older, smarter. Let's see. I had my knee replaced, so I'm looking for something better to watch in cable TV. I'm bored in the house. Ben with a bad joke. Was it your left knee, right knee, or wee knee? I kind of hate you for that. Slower, older, smarter. You need to follow and subscribe. And where are you? Give us your, are you listening in the U.S.? Are you listening somewhere abroad? Where in the U.S.? Please. A little bit more background. You can find out more about me. Just look up my name. Man Bun Chris says, whereabouts are you from? Chris says, I'm guessing New Jersey. No, I don't think so. It's always fun when new people just find it on Twitch. They don't know what the hell is going on. They're kind of just getting caught up to speed. I don't know if it's the best advice to get in here and just and get into a fight there with Rebecca, Miss Twat-a-lot. She's pretty cool, by the way. Beautiful South Carolina. Well, I hope the recovery goes well for you, big fella. David in Hudsonville says, asshole of the day is the chat today. No, I don't think so. The chat is okay. Yoda Whirl says, a weird day. By the way, I've been trying to talk about this. Slower, older, smarter says, I didn't start the fight. She did. Who cares? What are we, babies? You started it. We're not. Who cares who started it? Just fucking have a good time. God. It's like I'm talking to my kid. If I were to get into, if my kid said, yeah, but she started it, I'd be like, whammo, right in the face. Rebecca says, I will be the asshole of the day today. It would not be the first time. Yeah, we have thick skin around here. Everybody knows that. So, just fucking shrug it off. You'll be fucking fine. Okay? When I go up north, the plan is to pick up so many sticks. And I've actually had that conversation with people. It's like, Easy, what do you do up there? And it's like, I'm not kidding you. Various sticks need to be picked up. That's all I do. Do you fish? God, no. In fact, when I was working on the radio on WBBL, we had that sponsor, Alan Bob's Sports. Remember them? They went belly up now. They gave me an entire fishing outfit, Like I had the waders and and I had the poles and all the tackle and everything. And I just sold it all in the garage sale. I didn't even want the fucking shit. No, I don't fish. Fishing drives me crazy. I don't like the idea of actually pulling the fish out of the water. It breaks my heart. I am that much of a pussy. I will eat the food after you clean it, but I can't actually do it. It's really bad. It's getting worse. Hunting, no. Swimming, no. Boating, no. What do? Walk in the woods, look at trees, cut down trees, pick up sticks, put them on the fire, chop firewood, eat, make food. That's it. That's what you do for fun? Yeah. And the one thing I don't do is I don't podcast. That has, I originally set up Fear Bunker North to be able to do the podcast up there, but I don't like the fact that I was mixing my happy spot with my work. Stevie says chase after dogs when they run off. Yes. Man Bun Chris says the lag was bad. Yeah, it was terrible there. So no more podcasting up there. That's not allowed. The technical issues were a problem, but the main reason was because I was starting to not like going up there. Like, oh my God, I cannot have that. Holy shit. Okay. Texas man, tell me if you think this is a frivolous lawsuit. Thank you to Chris D for sending it along. A guy in Texas is suing the chain Whataburger. Is it Whataburger or Whataburger? I think it's Whataburger. Is that the one with Mark Wahlberg? For $1 million. Because he ordered a burger with no onions, and they put onions on it. That's it. He requested no onions with his meal. They put onions on it. He said this is negligence, and he's suing for over $250,000, but less than $1 million, according to the lawsuit. A petition filed by Demery Ardell Wilson in Texas's 269th Judicial District Court of Harris County on April 25th claimed the Whataburger failed to act in accordance with the appropriate standard of care, causing Wilson to suffer personal injuries. Now, I haven't even looked at this story. I would think the only way that there could be some type of personal injuries would be if he was allergic and something bad happened to him. Yeah, I guess that is exactly what happened. All right, well, I can see that. He ate the food, caused an allergic reaction, and he needed medical attention. The filing doesn't mention what he ordered, but the chain's burger features a beef patty with mustard, tomato, lettuce, pickles, and diced onions on a bun. Now, when I got this, at first I was like, oh, this is bullshit. He's suing because he didn't want onions. But no, there's a lot to it. The chain site has a page that lists possible allergens like wheat, soy, gluten, and more, but not onion. So they didn't even list it. You know what I mean? Like if you were to say, yeah, these are the products that are in that's in our food. These ingredients are in our food. That might insulate them. But onions is not on the goddamn list. I'm siding with the plaintiff on this one. There was a manufacturing defect in the food at the time it left Wilson's possession, reads the filing, adding that what he ate was defective because it was unsafe to eat, and that rendered it unreasonably dangerous. Agree? The filing claims Whataburger was negligent by providing Wilson a meal that included onions and that its inclusion rises to the level of manufacturing defect. The money would include damages, penalties, costs, expenses, prejudgment interest, and all other relief. I'd have it at more than $1 million. I'd have it at like 50 million in hopes of getting 1 million. You know? I mean, like, if let's say I ate this and I knew that I was going to have an allergic reaction, you would have to hide my joy as I was being driven to the hospital. And then just to make sure that I had a really strong reaction, I would stop at the grocery store and get an onion and eat it like an apple. Okay? And then have them nurse me back to health, and hopefully, like, you know, maybe one of your organs shuts down or something like that, causes taking years off your life. But who cares? You're going to sue for a ton of money. And you're in the hospital for extended stay, and the doctor's pissed off that you were served that. So you've got, you know, the medical community supporting you, and you're infirmed. If you're lucky, you get maybe an amputation or something like that. Yeah, that's excellent. Whenever I hear about lawsuits, I'm always so goddamn jealous. Like, you know, if I'm hopeful that if I'm going through an intersection, like a trucking company truck will hit me and just badly hurt me. Okay? Now, because once I come out of the coma, and I'm like, okay, I have to think to myself, all right, now I'm going to call Sam. You know, we're talking a ton of money. And that to me is so excellent. That is a great feature of the us, you know, the world that we live in here, the ability to sue people. Stevie says EZ's fantasies are rather dark. No, it's true. Imagine that. I mean, you have that that it's written in stone that if something happens where you are harmed and you did nothing, you should be compensated, right? Branjo says, I have a coworker who's allergic to one I've never heard before, cinnamon. Jeremy says he could arrange the truck thing for me. Chris says, fuck off. Send this guy to El Salvador. Bob says, who the fuck is allergic to onions? What happens? You get a little gassy? Well, you know how it is with onions. Tophus with a good question. Wouldn't you stop eating if you ate an onion? Well, don't forget, though, those are diced onions. And they're very, very small. You could probably get into that burger quite a bit before you realize what happened. Chris says a couple months ago, Costco had a big recall on butter, real butter, because it didn't say may contain dairy on the label. Oh, my God. Tofa says, now you're going to have... You guys think this is frivolous lawsuit, don't you? Tofa says, how fucked up was he from the onion? Let's see if it says... It doesn't. It doesn't say that. The plaintiff's lawsuit against Whataburger isn't the first time... Oh, okay, this is bad. It's not the first time he's litigated against a fast food restaurant. In May of 24, the guy was represented in a suit against Sonic Drive-In, but that was dismissed 1 month later. Okay, that's going to factor into this. Okay, so we don't know what happened to the guy. You're right. Yeah, this is bullshit. But if something did, I mean, honestly, if something did happen to someone, then yeah, of course. We had a storm not that long ago around here. I told you about. We were in the basement. Tornado sirens were going off. That was pretty fucking freaky. Several touchdown. They weren't exactly the biggest tornadoes. We had one that was in Zeeland, not far from here. That's like 10 miles away. At EF0 on the ground, which is 75-mile-an-hour winds, which I don't think that can do anything. I don't think 75. It might be able to take off a couple shingles. But that's a pretty piss-poor tornado, to be sure. But there was a lot of people that had issues. And the local TV station went to the hard living line area to check in on the locals. We all stick together, they said. I like this chick. She's pretty cute.
With severe storms that hit Norton Shores last week, residents are left to deal with the damage, including neighbors of over 3 decades.
It was pretty noisy.
Okay, this guy here. He's 31 years old.
A lot of banging. I was just imagining what it was going to look like after the storm. But I must say, it could have been worse.
Okay, yeah. Okay, now, and then this is his buddy here. This is the next door neighbor. This guy's 18 years old.
We all stick together. Oh, yeah. Everybody knows everybody, and we all...
You got it. Okay, that's a very much a hard living line quality right there. You see all that wood in the background? That's how he heats his home. He has his campfires. That's how he cooks his food. He's got a match in the corner of it sticking out of his mouth, okay? And he's got Jeremy's body before he lost all that weight. This ridiculous hat actually works, goes with the... now, that's not his hair. That's attached to the hat. Okay, it's like to give you the illusion that he has hair.
I'll do what we got to do to make it work.
Neighbors Paul Camellar and Mike Brooks are working together as the cleanup crew to restore their homes after severe storms.
Took half of this tree out, hit the house. I got 3 or 4 trees, big maples. They were here when I moved in.
And
Okay,
we
so
lost
there's
one
no
strand,
damage to the home, you noticed.
and
It was just the tree was up near the house, but there was no damage.
we lost one strand, and it was hanging on the wires, on the cable, and it took the power line down too.
Paul says taking this tree down.
Now we got the same B-roll footage of the same tree. So I don't know why this happened, that they picked this family or this neighborhood where one tree is down.
Is unfortunately in the forecast, even though he and his wife have recently befriended Mother Nature.
We're kind of trying to be in tune with nature.
Okay.
I say that right now with tongue in cheek, considering everything that's happened.
Between fallen trees and debris, Paul says all things considered, he and Mike are the lucky ones.
I would say everything was kind
Why
of,
didn't they
considering
go
the
visit
circumstances.
the unlucky ones so we could actually have a good story instead of, hey, these two guys help each other and they've got one tree down?
Everything was running pretty good.
These neighbors say there's always concern that comes with weather warnings, but after 35 years of living on the same block, they still have each other's backs, even in the storms.
Nobody's getting out alive. We're all we're all going out down together. So
Oh, God, this guy.
you might as well
Of course
work
he would say that.
it out together, you know.
In Norton Shores, Olivia Yatuma, Fox.
Yeah, you don't want to go near Norton Shores. That could be rough. My God. Alan says, why do people north of the hard living line always wear stupid hats? Slower, older, smarter from South Carolina says of these Michigan hillbillies, especially the one guy. Yeah, the further north you go, it's called the hard living line. Slower, older, smarter. When you cross a hard living line, and there are a lot of them in Michigan, that's the clientele. That's what we're dealing with there. I don't know if you've had to deal with that in any of the communities of South Carolina, but I would venture to guess that there are more hilljacks in Michigan than there are in South Carolina. I don't know how many people live in South Carolina. I'm going to guess 4.5 million. South Carolina population. I was close. 5.5 million people live in South Carolina. Michigan has about 10 million, and I think about 97% of them are like that guy right there. That is so bizarre to me. I love the fact that we have a new audience member. This is what I want you to do. Slower, older, smarter, bigger, faster. Is recruit some of your old friends to be on this show, to be part of this show. What is your age, slower, older, smarter, in South Carolina? I am going to say you are 42. That is my guess. Maybe younger. 63? I love the fact that you're 63 and you're on Twitch. How did you get introduced to Twitch? Are you a gamer or something? Did someone you know introduce you to it and it just happened? You just happened to stumble upon it while you're screwing around on your phone? That's interesting to me. Jeremy says that slower, older, smarter, which, by the way, give me your first name, is older than Maureen. Maureen is, I think, 62. Okay. Slower, older, smarter says, my grandson is a gamer. Tofa says, there's a 70-year-old grandmother that streams World of Warcraft. She has over 100,000 followers. Of course she does. Arc Flash Nick says, the farther you go from the shores of the Great Lakes, the harder the living gets. All right. I was watching a video last night. There was, God, I wish I would have saved this. Slower, older, smarter is now officially known as James or Jimmy. That's my son's name. There was a video I just saw of this guy who has a patch of land in some mountain range somewhere out west. Okay? And he and the other 100 people that live there have established their own off-the-grid community. And they have everything that they need there. Everybody's home is powered by solar. And they have all these, everybody has these multi-cell batteries to store the power. So, like, if you had solar roof and all that shit, that what you're creating is not only power in your house, but it's going back into the grid and you get a discount. Like, now the power company's going to pay you for your power. These guys don't do that. They like store it in these massive cell batteries in these storage facilities. And then they have like the type of containers you see, shipping containers. They have a couple of those full of various replacement parts for electrical, plumbing, whatnot, and they're totally independent. They have their own gas station, all right, and they have once a year that somehow they get the shit and they put it into the ground so that they have enough fuel somehow. I don't know. They get a pumper truck or whatever the fuck. But it was fantastic. And then if they want food, they live off the land. And I thought to myself, that is so cool. I don't have the right stuff to be able to pull that off. And the guy, he was talking about what he has this setup. And the guy who's interviewing him says, well, so if there is like unrest or, like you see Walking Dead, if there's a zombie apocalypse or if there's the entire electrical grid goes down and there's no community, he goes, we'd be fine. He goes, we are already 1,000,000% walled off. We don't have any visitors that come in. We have no support. You can't get a cell phone signal for 40 miles. You can't get anything. And so that's how we live. And it was just so cool. New Jimmy says down here they weld shipping containers together and make a house out of it. I like that and the prospect of bunker. God damn it. Again, add this to the list of things I would do if I had all the money in the world. Bunker. I want a big bunker. And it's completely got the air scrubbers in it. Nobody knows it's there. Equipped with my own hidden anti-aircraft weaponry to keep the bad guys away. Thoughts like that put me to sleep at night of just how cool that is. One of my favorite things to do is to watch people that have put these bunkers into the ground, like show you around. I'm like, oh, my God. Jimmy says, are you a prepper? No, not at all. Not at all. I just love the prospect of the whole thing, though. Rebecca says you could do that in Grayling, dig a bunker. Oh, my God, that'd be great. I don't have the skill set, which, by the way, I am working towards another Eric Zane project that I think is going to result in some serious nonsense, okay? I was downstairs yesterday when I was cleaning up that mess with the cat pee, and when I opened the windows, this one particular window, I knew it was rough, but water has been getting in, and it's an old wood frame window, as old as like when the house was built, however many years ago. I think it was in the mid-'90s. And the wood is actually rotted. Like if I push hard enough, it'll go through it. So I need a new window. So then I'm like, well, I guess I got to hire somebody to, but who's just going to put in one window? You know, whenever these guys come to my house, they're always talking about how I need all new windows. And I don't need all new windows, but I need a new window. And it was weird. This is how my brain works. So that was bothering me for a period of time, that window is shot and I need a replacement window. And then I'm sitting there and I'm getting bugged by it. And I'm like, that's the type of thing that gives me anxiety. Because I'm going to be like, God, I can't afford to get all new fucking windows just like that. And then I woke up in the middle of the night at about 4 a.m. And I was again freaking out. And then it occurred to me, you can buy a window. Like if I went to Lowe's and I had the measurement, I could get a window. And if it wasn't standard, they'd make me a custom window. And how fucking hard can it be to install a goddamn window? It can't be that hard, you know? Isn't it just, you take off the window casings and then, maybe like a few nail pulley, and then get that shit out of there. And you've got the space. And then when you put that thing in, it's just shimmy, level, hammer, boom, right? And isn't that what you do in a window? You put those fucking shims in there so it stays, and it's got to be square, right? I mean, I got a buddy named Jimmy who is my best good friend ever, and he's really handy. And I'm like, I'll just call Jimmy, and him and I will do that fucking shit. And that's what our new pal Jimmy says here. He says, go to YouTube. They teach you how to install a window. It's not hard. I didn't think so. I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to have to wait until I get a couple things done here. It's even easier now, he says. You screw it to the outside of the house. You'll just need to reseal it, Rebecca says, to waterproof, shim it out, nails, caulk, trim. David says, basically, I replaced a few, and it's not hard to do. Go to Lowe's and get a window. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to Lowe's. Bob says, please live stream yourself replacing the window. Excellent idea. Excellent idea. Molly says, just go to the library. They can help you. I'm not going to the library. Come on. And I also, it was YouTube video yesterday because I got this message from Pooh Bear. She goes, so I want to get my oil changed before we go up north. Are you doing it? Or am I getting it done? And I'm like, and I looked at a YouTube video and I saw how easy it was to change the oil in that car. And I go, I'm going to do it. Now, I don't have the right stuff to do it. I need floor jacks. Now, I do have a little bit more nerve when it comes to working on the car after I changed the spark plugs on Madison's. And I did a good job. It was successful. So I saw that video and I go, I'm going to change the oil in that fucking car. Jimmy says, go to a library and get the how to install a window while wearing a strap-on. Excellent callback. Starman says, when I worked at a crating shop, I used to stream it. What's a crating shop? Ended up making boxes for people from the scraps. What are you talking about? Bob says if you stream it, said project becomes a write-off. Starman says custom crates for shipping. Yeah, I know what you're writing. I just don't understand the context. When were we talking about that? I'm lost. Tyler says you should make a video and post it on Facebook so all the window experts can tell you how wrong you did it. Exactly. That's fun. I love getting those people all wound up. Custom crates for shipping. And then he writes, streaming your projects. I still don't get what you're talking about. You keep writing words that I know the words, and I know how to read them. I don't know what do you mean by custom crates for shipping and streaming my projects? Oh! You would, okay. You're talking about you would stream that random thing of crating and then you would post it. Okay, I got you. I'm so sorry, but I was not picking up what you were laying down there. Oh, God. Why did I struggle so badly with that? Oh, my God, it's terrible. My blood sugar must be low or something. All right. Okay, we talked about the longtime neighbors sticking together. Not far away, across another hard living line. It's known as Matson Township. This place is bad. The community is Branch County, not that far from here, but you got some real hillbillies that live around there. Well, the cops were looking for this dude for 4 days, and he was wanted for felony assault with a dangerous weapon. So they called him up, and they said, yeah, man, he's here. Come get him. Well, they first attempted to get him on Wednesday of last week. It was a domestic disturbance between him and his girlfriend, so pretty ugly stuff. And then they arrived on the scene, and he saw him coming. He took off in a vehicle. Not good. Next day, cops are on the lookout for the guy. They get a tip that he's near Matson Lake. So they kind of sneak up, and he figures out that they're there. They're like in the bushes, like fucking Boss Hogg and Roscoe. So he's on foot now, but he runs directly into Matson Lake. And they're like, what the fuck? And he swam. He started swimming. He's got all his clothes on. He swims across the lake. Now, I don't know how big Matson Lake is, but he made it. These two are still on the lookout, the two deputies looking for the guy again. And they get tipped off that he's back over by the lake. And he again ran into the water. But this time he's just walking like knee deep along the shoreline, keeping his eye on the cops. And then they said, all right, he's fucking nuts. And we think he's going to, it might be one of those self-harm incidents. Which, if you think about it, policing nowadays, even in these hillbilly counties, it's a lot more pragmatic. You know, they're a little bit more careful with their suspects. If you were to go back to when I grew up, and, you know, the third attempt to apprehend the guy, and he's just walking in the water, they probably would have shot him. Or at least gone after him, dragged him out of there, and beat the hillbilly shit out of him. But not these days. Next day, Sunday, 4 days after the first attempt to take him into custody, they tried to pull over a vehicle in the community of Bronson that was registered to him. As the vehicle came to a stop, the door flies open and the guy takes off again. After a search of the area, deputies found him in a nearby garage. And finally, they were able to arrest this guy. I don't think it says his name, does it? No, he hasn't been named yet. Why? I don't know. Arrested on multiple outstanding warrants, including felony assault with a dangerous weapon and multiple failure to appear warrants. He also faces charges of resisting and obstructing law enforcement. Okay. The Branch County Sheriff's Office extends its thanks to the area residents for their cooperation during this multi-day effort, as well as the Marine Patrol Division, Coldwater Police K-9 Unit, Bronson Police, and Michigan State Police. So they had to call in all of these extra teams to get this fucker. He's kind of like a hillbilly version of Leo DiCaprio's character in Catch Me If You Can. Frank Abagnale. Great movie, by the way. Love that movie. Starman 314 says, I just heard about this story. It's the next town over from where I'm at. Branjo says, shout out to Boss Hogg. Indeed. All right. Let's see. We are short today. So I'm going to run through these ads and then consider the asshole of the day, unless if you have anything you wanted to run by me about any topics that you want to ask me about. That's how we usually do it when I get a little lean on things to talk about. Okay. Thanks, as always, to Berlin Raceway. There's racing this weekend at Berlin. You head over to berlinraceway.com, get tickets in advance. You have until Friday at midnight, when it's just about to become Saturday, to get tickets for $14 a pop. As always, buy them in advance. $14 a pop at berlinraceway.com. 15 and under, free, to see the races on the half-mile asphalt oval. Parking is free as well. You can bring in a cooler, with everything you want in it for snacks and soft drinks, but no glass and no booze. Go see the races at Berlin Raceway this weekend. They start at 6:30, berlinraceway.com. Last but not least today, Frank Fuss from My Policy Shop Insurance. I just posted an interview with Frank and I about the importance for having a plan when it comes to health insurance or life insurance or planning for Social Security benefits. If you are in the boat of, all right, I'm thinking about retiring, I will be utilizing the Medicare program, I will be obtaining my Social Security entitlements now, they're going to send you a lot of material that's very confusing. Most of that is marketing. You need Frank Fuss to help you navigate all of that. And he will. Start the process by reaching out. Go to buyinsurancehere.com. That's buyinsurancehere.com. Fill out the form, and Frank will schedule a phone call with you from anywhere in the U.S. As always, Frank's services are free. He gets paid by insurance companies. He's a licensed independent insurance agent / broker and planner for Social Security benefits and life insurance, too. If you don't have life insurance, Frank maintains 20 times. So let's say you make $80,000 a year. You're a husband with a wife and 2 kids. And you get run over by an elephant and you're dead. You need, according to Frank, 20 times your yearly income in life insurance. So a $1,600,000 policy can be obtained if you are in good health for a lot less than you think. You're like, how the hell could I get $1,600,000 in life insurance? Well, if you're young enough and you are in good health, non-smoker, you will. Now, that's part of this planning thing, okay? As a responsible husband, wife, or parent, you can't just go day to day, hand to mouth like some kind of dickhead, okay? You got to think about the future if something goes wrong. You're going to be like one of those dickheads who has to do a goddamn GoFundMe because you're dead. I know you can't make a GoFundMe when you're dead, but somebody's going to make a GoFundMe for your wife because you were so stupid and you didn't get any life insurance. Get life insurance. All right. Maybe you cannot afford the $1,600,000 policy. Let's say you can only spend $100 a month on a life insurance policy. We'll start there. You might not be able to get the $1,600,000 policy, but you can always buy more life insurance, ding dong. Reach out to Frank at buyinsurancehere.com. Tyler says, I was just going to mention that GoFundMe thing. Last thing you want is your family to be making a GoFundMe because you're dead. Man Bun Chris says, you're not short today. You posted Frank's interview. Oh, that's right. All right. It is time for the asshole of the day. Does anyone have a nomination for asshole of the day? Let's see what we talked about. Maybe I can figure this out on my own. Oh, I know what it is. Megan says, O'Neill just belched. I saw it in his cheeks. Okay, I'm going to give a nomination to whoever closed the basement door to keep the cats from their cat box. All right, now you just saw me erase again. It's because I was going to make it 1, and then I switched it. It was going to be the guy with the onion lawsuit, but I like the fact that I like this idea. Nick suggested Stephanie Boone be on there. That crazy bitch wasting everybody's goddamn time by protesting the sweet books like Gender Queer in the Lowell High School library. Shut up. All right. Star on the forehead to new guy Jimmy or James. Thanks for being here. And make yourself at home. And I'll see you tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern time right here. So don't forget that. You got to follow the page and then subscribe so that you don't get the video ads. As always, I have a Patreon if you want more content. Patreon.com/Eric Zane. Patreon.com/Eric Zane. Megan says that Stephanie Boone is an ass. Nick says, I hope she walks in on her son sucking a you-know-what. Yeah, me too. You know, I often wonder what these right-wing anti-gay people who think that gay people are like pedophiles. Can you imagine how that would be if you found out, if you're like her and she found out one of her kids was gay? Actually, it's kind of sad because those parents, you know, they like end up hating on their kids. Those are the ones at the Pride Festival who come up to you when you're wearing the free dad hug shirt and they actually give you a hug because they don't have anybody in their life. All right. Thank you again, folks. I appreciate you. I will talk to you on the Patreon. Till then, bye-bye.